Okay, so our lesson is all about factoring perfect square trinomials. So by the end of this lesson, may duwa ka mo ka target sa subong adlaw. So first, we're going to determine if a polynomial is a perfect square trinomial. So diri ta mabalaan sa aton lesson kung ang isa ka polynomial is a perfect square trinomial. Okay, next, you're going to factor perfect square trinomials. So kung pagtapos ninyo identify sa isa ka polynomial, if it's a perfect square trinomial, ibaloon ta kung paano mag-factor out sini sa ila. Okay? So ang content sa aton nga module 1, still no, factoring polynomials. So antes kita mag-discuss about factoring perfect square trinomials, mayara kita i-recall ng mga lessons. So first, we have the squares of numbers and variables. Okay, so paano ikaw kambang ang isa ka number is a square or a perfect square? The same thing man sa variable. So nabalanta na sa atong mga lessons, no? Then we have operations on sign numbers. So importante gid nga i-recall naton kung paano mag-add, subtract, multiply, divide sa mga signed numbers or integers. May mga positive and negative. Okay? So ano ang ginatawag nga perfect square trinomial? So a perfect square trinomial or PST is a polynomial of 3 terms and is created by multiplying a binomial by itself. So meaning ang perfect square trinomial is the result if you multiply one binomial by itself. Okay? So for example, we have here a binomial x plus 4 squared. Quantity x plus 4 squared. So magambal ikaw x, quantity x plus 4 squared. Kaya x plus 4 na kayong close sa parenthesis. Meaning, ang ina nga binomial, you're going to multiply it by itself. So ang result niya is a perfect square trinomial. We have x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay? Yeah. So this is now a perfect square trinomial. So in a perfect square trinomial, So in a perfect square trinomial, the first and the third term are perfect squares, while the second term is twice the product of the square roots of the first and third term. Okay, tanawon ta ang x squared plus 8x plus 16. So kung manotice niyo nga ang first term nga x squared kag ang third term nga 16, they are perfect squares. Okay? Kag ang second term 8x, it is twice the product of the square roots of the first term and the third term. So try takwa ang square roots ng x squared. Di ba x? Ang square roots ng 16, di ba 4? Oo. So we're going to multiply that 4 times x, 4x. Then you multiply it twice or multiply it by 2. Correct? 8x. Okay? So muna sa ginatawag nga perfect square trinomial. Try tabi sa x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay, get ko na eh. Okay, so notice that the first and the third term are perfect squares, right? X squared is a perfect square. Same thing with 9 is a perfect square. While the second term is twice the product of the square roots of the first and third term. Ang second term, 6x, is the result kung i-multiply natin ang square roots ng x squared kag 9. Ilang square roots ng x squared gani? X, okay? Ang square root of 9, 3. So if you multiply 3 times x, the result is 3x. Then you multiply it by 2. The result is 6x. Very good. So notice that the first and third term, again, first and third term are perfect squares, while the second term is twice the product of the square roots of the first and third term. Okay. So, paigaliwat si sir. Okay, grabe ang explanation, ha? So, ambot na lang gid ako, hindi pa gid kamo yang perfect sa aton nga assessment. Okay, second term is, paano nakuha ang 6x? We have 2 times x times 3. So we have 2 times 3x. The result is 6x. Okay? Next. So how do we factor perfect square trinomials? So once may baluan na natin ang isa ka trinomial sa perfect square, pwede na nasa natin ma-factor out. So paano kita mag-factor out sa perfect square trinomials? Okay, for example, we have x squared plus 6x plus 9. So first step, we're going to make a template. So ano yung template guys? Okay, tandaan ng template So x na himbutan sa sulod sa parentheses, kaya ang gingamit ng variable is x. Then step 2, you get the square root of the third term. Kuha ang square root ng 9. Very good. So we have 3. So amo nang ibutang ta sa sulod sa parenthesis. You write the square root of the third term on our template. Ayan. Very good, students. Fast learners. Okay, another example, we have x squared minus 10x plus 25. So notice that the first and the third term are perfect squares. Again, ang x squared kagang 25 are perfect squares, while the second term is the result of twice the product of the square roots of the first and third term. Now, how do we factor out x squared minus 10x plus 25? Again, so kung manotice niyo sa ating template, may negative sign dira. Kay tungod nga ang second term ta sa x squared minus 10x plus 25, ang second term nga negative 10x is negative. That's why sa template naton, gimbutangan tada sang negative sign. Okay? Second step, you get the square root of the third term. Square root of 25 is, very good, so 5. So we're going to write the square root of 25 on the template. Ayan. Okay na? So let's practice. So we're going to factor the following perfect square trinomials. Okay, we have here two examples, n squared plus 16n plus 64 and r squared minus 12r plus 36. Okay, so sa n squared plus 16n plus 64, diin diri sa duwa ka template ang aton gamiton. Template A or template B? Very good. So template A. Okay? Ang aton nga second, it's a perfect square kag ang aton nga second term nga 16n is positive. And then we're going to get the square root of 64, 8. Okay. So muna ibutan nato sa template. For number 2, we have r squared minus 12r plus 36. So what template are we going to choose? Template A or template B? Very good. Template B. Okay, ang aton nga second term nga 12r is negative. So ano yung butanta sa tupad sang r? Minus. We're going to look for the square root of 36. 6. Very good. Okay? So as a summary, to determine if a perfect square trinomial, to determine if a polynomial is a perfect square trinomial, you check the following. Okay, the first term is a perfect square. The third term is a perfect square. And the second term is twice the product of square roots of first and third term. Check. Alright. So for example, we have x squared plus 12r plus 36. To factor a perfect square trinomial, we're going to follow these steps. Step 1, make a template. Step 2, find the square root of the third term. And step 3, insert the square root of the third term on the template. Okay? So para sa inyong exercise kaysa lang. Tatlo. Okay, so exercises. We're going to factor the following perfect square trinomials. Pwede ta ni ma-pause ang video. Ang inyong answer, i-pass ninyo sa akon PM lang ha. Okay, that's all for today.